Hello there. Welcome to Healthy Cooking with your friendly Italians. I'm Jim Bureau.
And I'm Marilyn Bureau.
And we're going to be talking about our wonderful trip out to the beautiful Northwest, state of Oregon, state of Washington. And we're going to be talking about their cuisine, the absolute beauty of the place, the versatility of the different types of things that you can do in the States. And we're going to be giving you some recipes. We're going to give you some recipes on some crab cakes and some.
We're going to concentrate on seafood.
Seafood. We're going to have seafood. Some salmon.
This show. You might get
Mussels.
more information on another show, but this show is about the wonderful seafood of the state of Washington and Oregon.
Yep.
The coastal seafood.
So, Marilyn, we were out there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they always talk about all the rain that happens.
We didn't get one drop.
Not one drop.
In 2 weeks.
And the people out there tell us, don't tell them that you did get rain, because that means that if you tell them that, they're going to come out here.
Right.
We're happy just the way it is.
And they claim it's hot, and it was hot in the afternoon. The thing is that it's hot from what would you say, about 12:1 to 4.
Yeah, but there's no humidity. Yeah.
And there's no humidity, but it still goes down in the 50s to 60s for the evening. So it's good sleeping.
Yep.
It's wonderful fresh air.
The air, the smell in the air picks up the smell of the pine needles, and it's very invigorating. And the trees, these magnificent
trees
tall
are really tall.
Trees.
Our son lives in a place outside of Portland, one of the suburbs of Portland, Oregon, in the state of Washington, near Vancouver, Washington, which is right over the bridge, and from Oregon, and it's just beautiful. And you look out, and the vistas are gorgeous. You see Mount Hood, you see Mount St. Helens, you see Mount Baker. You just look every which way. You can see the snow-covered Mount Hood at Timberline Lodge, which we'll be talking about later, still has skiing all year round.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean all day, but you can actually go skiing all year round. And that's in 1 hour, and the other hour to the coast, you can go lay on the beach.
And you can go hiking. You can go fishing. We'll talk to you about fishing in a moment. Then you can go within an hour. You can be on the ocean, go kayaking and surfing. You name it, and it's available in the state of Washington and Oregon. Just a great spot, and they have some wonderful wines that come out of Mount Rainier and the I'm going to say this wrong.
Willamette
Valley, and also up near Mount Hood, and they have all these beers. They're gone crazy with their beers.
The brewery, the individual microbreweries were really started in the Portland area. Portland itself had a festival year, I would say for the last 20-25 years, they've had a festival about the microbreweries.
And they're great.
Yeah, and
they're
our son
very,
actually
very
worked for Woodmere, which is a beer distributor out there, or makes beer, for a short period of time after he got out of grad school.
And Marilyn, the wonderful fruits that they have out there, the pears, which were coming into season when we were there, the apples, the Marion berries, which we can't get here on the East Coast.
Marion berries are in the spring, but their berries are unbelievable. They're blackberries particularly.
Right. But then the seafood, Marilyn.
Yes.
The Dungeness crab.
Yes.
The steelhead trout. The salmon that has this wonderful red color to it. Halibut, tuna.
Halibut. You can't get as good a halibut any place but out there.
Yeah.
And the salmon, it's a completely different taste than what we get, the Atlantic salmon. The fresh, wild West Coast salmon is really very, very good.
Well, why don't we give them a recipe of the crab cakes?
All right.
And out there they use Dungeness crab. And if you're not familiar with Dungeness crab, the body of a Dungeness crab is it's
huge.
Big. It's huge. A lot of meat, a lot more meat than what we're used to as far as the Maryland crab. And I think better. Now, the problem we have here on the East Coast getting crab meat using Dungeness crab is somewhat difficult.
Well, it has to be basically almost has to be frozen.
So I've got two alternatives. You go and you can buy the Maryland crab and
the lump crab meat, which is very
all
good.
right.
It's
or
very good.
if you want to get away from it completely, just poach some cod, and you could use cod in the place of this. And I'll go through that here in a minute. And what we're going to make is crab cakes from an area called Cannon Beach. Cannon Beach is probably the nicest beach for swimming. Well, you don't go swimming there; it's too damn cold.
The Pacific Ocean is cold all year round.
But
I mean, you can go walk at the edges, but you're not going to want to go swimming in the Pacific Ocean.
And the recipe is very, very simple. We're gonna puree some shrimp.
Right.
And you don't need the big shrimp, just little shrimp. And some bay scallops. Again, you don't need to go to the big scallops, but the little tiny bay scallops. And put some cream in there and some lemon juice and puree that up, okay? And then very delicately fold in this case, if you want to use crab, or if you didn't want to use crab, use poached cod, and fold that in with a little parsley. Put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. Take it out and make them into patties. With the amounts here, you're going to be able to make about 4 patties. And very delicately put them together. Dust them with a little panko breadcrumbs, which I always talk about as being really, really good. And then saute them, okay?
Right, and we call them seafood patties instead of crab patties if you change them. But they're very, very good. And
they're not a lot of breading in it. A lot of places you go get crab cakes, and
they're full of bread. This one you've only got the bread on the outside, and then you serve it with a very nice sauce.
Yeah, it's a lemon sauce, and you're gonna just beat together some egg yolks and some lemon juice and some Dijon mustard, and use Dijon mustard, please. Excuse me. A garlic clove, and then after that is all mixed together, start whisking in olive oil, about half a cup, a little at a time. If it gets a little thick, just add a little water to it to lighten it up. And just put a dollop of that right on top of these delicious crab cakes, and you'll understand what we say, the seafood of the Northwest is great. It's a great dish. And I think you would all really, really enjoy that a lot. Marilyn, we had a special time when we went there, because we went to the base of Mount Hood, and we rented, quote unquote, a cabin.
Yes, well, it was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, right next to the Salmon Creek. And we took our grandson out of school on Friday. He had only been in school for a couple of days anyway, so. And we went up and we just had the best time. We really did. Our son and grandson came with us.
And we celebrated Marilyn's, and you're not going to believe this, Marilyn's 77th birthday.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm younger than she is. Oh, I look younger than her? No.
No.
But,
only by 2 months.
Yeah.
But with these 2 months, he's unsufferable because he keeps reminding me that he's younger. But anyway.
we went to Timberline Lodge, which is at Mount Hood. It was built 77 years ago.
Yes, it was a part of the work program, the FDR work program. And it has the most beautiful stone and wood. I mean, it's huge. I mean, you know, it's just absolutely beautiful.
And the vistas
and
are
the vista
great.
is, yes, incredible.
They really emphasize farm to table there in this restaurant, and you've got these great views. And we sat there.
The table, you can tell that the tables and chairs were the original tables and chairs of 1937. The place it's a mammoth fireplace. It's absolutely beautiful. Of course, it's on the National Historic Register, and of course
it's weathered well.
And then from the dining room, you have these incredible view of Mount Hood.
Mount Hood, and we're not that far off from where the Columbia River is.
Exactly.
And this is where all those wonderful salmon are. We talk about salmon. We're on the Salmon
Creek.
and the salmon are going upstream to spawn. And we think, well, geez, we'll go fishing and we'll catch salmon. Well, they won't bite because they got one thing in mind: to go up there.
They have to go up
and die, basically.
Right.
But
But that's part of it.
Now the Indians in the area are able to snag them by netting them, but the salmon is unbelievable.
It is absolutely delicious, and they make it in many different ways, and using some of their native nuts and berries and all kinds of things that they use.
So let's give them a recipe for salmon on a skewer.
Well, that sounds good.
And we're going to coat it with a little hazelnut crust. And the hazelnuts are grown in the area. They tend to be a little difficult to get the skin off. So if you use this recipe and use the hazelnuts, you want to blanch the hazelnuts and then rub them in a paper, some paper towel.
Or
and the
cheesecloth, something to get them off.
The skins will come off.
Right.
Now, Sauter's has the hazelnuts. You can get them there. If you don't want to go through that, you can also use almonds, and just go ahead and take your almonds and put them on a coat them in a little olive oil and just brown them up a little bit, and use those instead of the hazelnuts. So you're going to take these wonderful skinless salmon fillets, and hopefully you can get them wild and not from farm, but either way I go. And we're going to take those and we're going to cut them into strips and we're going to skewer them, okay? And then we're going to mix in a bowl some maple syrup, again, that wonderful Dijon mustard, some fresh rosemary that you chop up, some lemon juice, and some soy sauce, and just brush that over the fillets. And if you want to do them outside, this works very well.
Yes, it does. They grill very well.
But if you're going to work it inside, you can still put it on top of the stove and grill them there. And then do that, and you're not going to do it very long, about 2 to 3 minutes per side. And you're going to put some of that ground hazelnut or either that or the almonds on top of it. And when they came off, brush them again with some of that mixture of the maple syrup and the Dijon mustard. Great combination. And you'll have an easy dinner that is healthful and very, very good that comes from this area. So you want to try that. Marilyn, when we were up there right around the corner from Mount Hood is Hood River.
Yeah,
and the Hood River area.
Yeah, we stayed in a place called rhododendron. That's another absolutely incredible. If you're there in the spring to see the rhododendron plant, the bushes are much bigger there, and they're much bigger. But around the corner, you're right, is a wonderful town called Hood River.
Well, not only the town, but in that area, they have some great wineries.
Yes.
They also, this is where some of your fruits are grown in that area. Yes. These magnificent scenic scenes looking down over the Columbia Gorge.
Don't they have a train ride there?
Have a train up to the top of it.
Yes, to look around. Mm-hmm. It's a very scenic ride. Yeah,
it is. And in this gorge, the Columbia Gorge in this area, it's very tight, and the winds will come up to about 60 miles an hour. And these crazy people are out there parasailing.
Yeah, parasailing on that river all the time.
Right,
it's amazing to watch them.
In fact, some people have gotten killed there because they go over the dam. But it's really a very, very unique area, and that river, or the Columbia River, that's where Lewis and Clark were on, and they went all the way out to Astoria, to the Pacific Ocean. And it's absolutely a phenomenal area. You can take a boat ride once you get past the dam, all the way out to the coast, and you can eat the Dungeness crab,
The oysters from that area are incredible.
The mussels.
And then the mussels.
Let's talk about the mussels.
Well, Jim has a wonderful recipe for mussels. And many people, I think people are scared of mussels. You get them and, you know, they look sort of funny. They've got all this bearding on them and they look a little scary, but they're absolutely delicious. They're also very prevalent on the East Coast in Nova Scotia.
Right.
So.
But most of the mussels today are farm raised.
Yes.
And that is not a bad thing. And out there they're farm raised. And there's very little beards on them, okay? And Wegmans, I know, has them, and they're very good. And when you bring them home and you see some of the shells opening up, if you just tap them, and they'll close. If they don't close, get rid of them, okay? That's how you can tell if they're alive or dead. So we're going to do some steamed mussels, and we're going to get a large pot, and we're going to heat some butter and some olive oil in there, extra virgin olive oil. We're going to slice up some leeks and a pinch of salt, and we're going to cook that for about 3 minutes. Then we're going to add garlic. We're going to add sliced fennel. Fennel is it's an oversized celery.
Yeah, it tastes, it's an anise flavor, but when you get the fresh fennel, it isn't as strong as what we would think of as anise seeds. Yes.
All right. And pinch of red pepper, an orange peel, and cover and cook that for about a minute. Then add these wonderful mussels and cook them without top on for about 4 minutes. Remove the orange peel, and then add to this some cooked sausage. Italian sausage is great, and then add. You could add some cream to this. A little cream in this would be great. You could add some curry to this. That would be different. You know, again, we're doing your own thing. Bring it out. Get a bowl. Put some of those mussels on there with all that wonderful sauce. Get some crusty bread and some of the good white wine that you can buy from the state of Washington and the state of Oregon. And I'm telling you,
it's a meal you won't forget.
It's a wonderful meal. I wonder how many pounds. We didn't put any weight when we were out there? I don't think so.
I didn't, but we ate very well. I have to say we ate very well, but no, I didn't put any weight. Probably put more weight in when I got back home, but that's okay.
Well, now we're out on we're out on at Astoria. If we go south, we're going to go right down along the coast, and we talked about Cannon Beach, and they have this rock there called Haystack Rock,
which is absolutely beautiful.
They take pictures of it all the time. You go to Florence, which is a little farther south, and they have the sand dunes. You can get on top of the sand dunes and roll down and roll right into the water. Then you have an area called that has the wonderful cheeses of Tillamook. I think Tillamook must be a Indian name, I would think.
It's a wonderful, I mean, we can get Tillamook cheese here, but if you go visit, you can go visit the Tillamook factory, and they have many more varieties out there, and they're really, really delicious. But if you're out that area, it's a fun thing to do is to visit the factory.
And then if you continue on down farther, you go to the Rogue River.
Yes.
And the Rogue River has halibut and sturgeon and tuna. Right. And Marilyn, let's tell them a story about when we went down there and we found a cottage.
Well, we were looking for a place to stay, and we weren't being very successful. And we went to the visitor center, and I picked up, they have the little cards of places where you can stay. So Jim is looking at some things, and we're calling, and we're not finding anything. And I picked up this little card, and I thought the graphics and the design of the card was really wonderful. So I called, and we found this absolutely incredible place to rent. It was called Gold Coast, is where we were, and it was near the Rogue River.
Well, overlooked the river.
Overlooked the river, and it was on this, I don't know how many acre plot of land that had all kinds of things.
Outdoor jacuzzis,
and we found that it was actually built for Meryl Streep when she was out there doing A River Runs Through It.
Yeah.
And it was an absolutely incredible place. and we rented it for, I don't know,
Rented it for a week, and then we went back and
then
did
when
it
Matt
again.
graduated U of R,
Yeah.
U of Oregon, the University of Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah. The whole family came, and we spent
Go Ducks!
we spent a week there, and we had the best time. We really did.
Yeah, and it's an area that you really should go to. I want to give you a recipe. They do a lot of catch a lot of tuna out there, and they have canneries in this area of the Rogue River.
Right.
And I'm going to give you a recipe for albacore tuna melt, which is simple.
It is, but it sounds a little bit different. I think you're going to like this for a little bit of different taste here.
What we're going to do, we're going to mix some albacore tuna that we've drained, get all the water.
You can use the canned, or you can use the ones that are canned in water, or the ones that are in the packets.
Right. And then you're going to break that up with a fork. You're going to mix some dark black olives that have been cured in olive oil.
Those are very strong, but they're wonderful.
Some lemon zest, some capers that you're going to chop up, and you're going to whisk in some olive oil, Dijon mustard, some dried tarragon, and you're going to mix that all together, and you're going to put that on a panini.
No, a ciabatta. It's a
ciabatta
roll.
Ciabatta roll, and you're going to drizzle a little mayonnaise and mustard on the interior of it, and put it down and push it down, press it, and go ahead and grill that with some Tillamook cheese in there.
The extra
so you're gonna
sharp
have cheese and a tuna.
extra sharp age for your edge. Right, it's very good. Okay.
You died and gone to heaven. I've been dying and going to heaven a long time there. So, we got so many other things we want to tell you about and give you some recipes about the time we've spent out there. But time is running out, so we're going to do that. We're going to do some more recipes.
We'll probably talk a little bit more about it. But this, since our son was out there for quite a while, we've been visiting the area quite frequently, at least once a year. And we've really fallen in love with it. It's so beautiful. I often say the vistas are so gorgeous and the trees are so gorgeous that if you never believed in God, you would know that there was a God that made this scenery.
I think
it is absolutely spectacular.
If God was going to pick an area to live, he'd probably live there.
You think he'd live there?
I think he'd live there.
Probably. It is absolutely beautiful. The tall trees, the wonderful ferns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoy these recipes. These are really, really nice recipes. And we're going to be talking more the next time we get together about the foods of Oregon and Washington. And don't forget that the Grape Festival down in, where's the Grape Festival down in? Naples.
Naples.
That's going on. And in fact, if you got your own grape pie recipe, you can do that. You can submit it. They're having a contest for the best grape pie.
I've never made a grape pie. I don't know anything about them, but they're fun to eat when you go down there.
They're fun to eat. They're a pain in the ass to make.
Okay. Well, you don't like to bake anyway, so.
But you get taking all the little. Oh yeah. But anyways, if you're into it, God bless you. Do it and enjoy the fall of the year. I think probably the best time of the year going.
Yes.
And we still have on Wednesday.
Our farmers markets on Wednesday. Please take advantage.
The peppers are in.
I mean, there's so many things. It's a bounty at this point. There's all kinds of things, and all the wonderful cauliflowers, the colored cauliflowers. I love the orange cauliflower, the purple cauliflowers, all those things.
Yeah, I made
and cabbages.
And I made a yellow cauliflower.
You did make a yellow cauliflower soup.
Maybe we should give them a recipe.
We probably should the next time.
And maybe I'll stuff some peppers.
There you go.
You
go.
So enjoy. Also, you might be known that our host, Jim Senacropi, he is going to be cooking dinner out at the country club. And he's going to put on a nice Italian dinner. I've try to give him some hints. He's going to do his own things. Don't worry about it.
He's a good cook.
He's a good cook. So you might want to think of that. So enjoy. Have a good week. See you next week or next time. And God bless. Bye-bye.
Ciao.